And when you say that something is hard, it's almost like you automatically give it your power. Lately, I've been thinking about this idea of what we perceive as difficult or hard. The first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to what we perceive as difficult is I think it's important that we identify the things in our lives that are difficult for us. But then take it a step further and also identify specifically why you find those things difficult. Because a lot of the times you'll find that these things are difficult because of some sort of fear or projection that you might have, or some sort of shortcoming that you feel like this thing is validating for you. So if you feel like you want to be a dancer, but every time you show up to try to dance, you're not able to fully get the moves down the way that you're supposed to, it can create this feeling that you're not enough. I think it's important that we identify and we get down to the root issues of why we find things hard. Because I would like to believe as people that if we really want something out of life, we're going to go get it. It doesn't matter how hard or difficult something is. If you want it, you're going to go get it. So, just having a better sense of self awareness on why this is difficult for you and maybe what some of those deeper rooted things are that's creating this perspective that is difficult, it's helpful in helping you to maneuver through that situation in a way that is serving you, but also getting you out of this mindset of this is difficult so that you can still show up and still get the things that you desire out of life. The other thing that I want to talk about is it creates a sense of powerlessness. I put up this short form video the other day, basically talking about how it's important that we start doing the work in real time. And someone commented underneath the post and said, "This is so true, but it's so difficult." When I heard this when I read the comment of this person saying that it was difficult, I just felt the need to reassure her that you are powerful and you do have a choice. You do get to dictate the things that are happening in your life and you do have control. And when you say that something is hard, it's almost like you automatically give it your power. You automatically take your power away from it. So I think it's important for you to understand that you do have a choice. You do get to decide. And really, it's just that simple. You just need to decide. We also have to understand that in a lot of ways in our lives, we are on autopilot. And just like I was saying, with you have the ability to decide at any time, it can feel difficult because we are so accustomed to operating in a certain way. We already have different response mechanisms in different areas of our lives, and we store these things into our psyche so that when the same situation comes up, we go back into that folder, find that exact or similar experience, and we just hit play on that. And that's the constant repeat cycle that's happening. But you do have the power to take back control. Whenever you're ready, you can click off that autopilot back and say, I'm going to choose to respond in a different way, or I'm going to do something different today so that I'm getting a different result. Something else that I feel like creates this feeling that things is harder than what they really are is we put so many obstacles between us and doing the thing, and that is what really makes it feel so hard. So for example, and I found myself guilty of doing this too. Like, I was talking to my friend last night and we were talking about stretching. We were talking about me stretching because I love stretching, y'all. And everybody always tells me, like, girl, you should just host a stretching class. And what I said was, I was like, well, I do want to host a stretching class, but I feel like I need to just learn more information so that I'm making sure that I'm properly relaying the information to the people correctly so that they're feeling the stretch in the right place. I want to make sure that I'm referring to the right muscle groups. And I just created this whole scenario in my mind. And that's one thing, that's me. I went from being in the moment of like, oh, yes, like I can stretch. I can teach a stretching class. This is something that I do want to do. But I instantly started finding these reasons of why I cannot. And they were all made up. They were all things that I was I was just coming up with. And really, if I think about it, none of those things matter. The only thing that I need is me. Because something that my friend said too, he was like, you don't need any of those things in order for you to show up. Sometimes somebody needs you at this level, the way you're going to say it right now, because they don't even understand those concepts of why, of the galacticus nerve. I'm making stuff up, y'all. But anyway, they don't even understand, the medical or the proper terminologies and the logistics of everything. That was definitely an example of how a lot of times we just put these obstacles between us and the things that we desire, and those are the things that make it difficult. It's the things that we're creating, right? So even when it comes to YouTube, saying like, I need a camera, or I need lighting equipment, or I need whatever, I need a script because I don't know how to say things properly. Whatever those things are that you're telling yourself about why you can't just do the thing in your life today, right now, basically on why you're not enough. Why you're not enough as you are right now, with the knowledge that you possess, with exactly the version of yourself that you are right now. Those are the obstacles that we put in between us doing the thing. And that is what is making it difficult for us to actually show up. Another reason why we find things difficult is because we are focusing on the things that we cannot change. You are focusing on the things that you cannot change. And so you are exhausting yourself. You are wasting your precious energy. Oops. Hello mic kiss. But anyway, you are wasting your precious energy on something that you cannot change. So another example of this is YouTube. I'm gonna use this example again because, all right, y'all, I'm in this YouTube world right now, so y'all are gonna have to forgive me, but this really applies to anything. Obviously, I'm trying to get monetized, right? Like, I think that's the goal. Not for everybody. Everybody has their own reasons on why they show up in this space. But for me, I want to get monetized. So this week, I set a goal to hit 50 subscribers, because you can go live at 50 subscribers. And I didn't even know this. Everybody was talking about going live, but you need 50 subscribers. Anyway, so you need 50 subscribers to go live. I had like 30. I can't remember how many subscribers I had when I started, but I was like, basically I would have only needed like to get 10 new subscribers for the week, like 10 or 11 new subscribers. And I didn't hit the goal this week. I got 44. So thank you to 44 of you, all 44 of you that subscribe to my channel. But I got to 44, and I was just like, dang, like I didn't get to hit my goal. And again, talking to the same friend, we was in deep conversation, clearly. But he was just like, why don't you set goals for things that are within your control? You can't control how many people subscribe to your channel, right? Or less, for instance, for those of you that are trying to gain or lose weight. I say gain because I'm a skinny girl, okay? But gain or lose weight, you cannot control how many pounds exactly you're going to gain or lose by this particular time. But just focus on eating healthy. Just focus on working out, putting all your energy and your effort into the things that you do have control over. So I say that to say that a lot of times we're wasting our energy on things that are outside of our control. There's nothing that we can do to these factors in our lives that we have no control over. There's nothing that we can do there. So just focus on the areas of your life that you can change and actually have an impact. Because the reason why it feels difficult or it is hard for us when we show up is because we're already so depleted mentally first, right? Because of all of these thoughts that we're telling ourselves. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do that. But also half the things that you're saying that you got to do or you want to do you're not going to have any results in, because it's things that you cannot control. So just focus on the things that you can control. But also when it comes to things that we find difficult in life, you need some sort of wellness, self-care hack, tool, or practice that is going to assist you on your journey of life. Why? Because you need to constantly be in a state of mindfulness. You need to be self-aware of yourself at all times. And you need to pay attention to when your thoughts aren't serving you, when your body is out of alignment. These are things that you need to pay attention to. When your emotions are off track and you just going on that emotional roller coaster of this, that, and the third, it's important that we have these practices to make sure that we are in a aligned but also a stable state. Also, another thing when it comes to the energy aspect, right? Sometimes we give things way too much energy than what it needs, right? So, an example of that is me and some friends, we had a sleepover. And one of my friends was about to start cooking, right? Everybody just got up in the morning and my friend was about to start cooking. And I was like, oh, hey, are you cooking for everybody? Because usually this friend will cook for everybody. So I was like, hey, are you cooking for everybody or is this just for you? And they were like, this is just for me. And so I got a little annoyed because I was just like, everybody got to eat. So why you want everybody to just look at you eat, but I didn't say these things out loud. I'm just thinking like, hey, like we should just cook for everybody versus just, cooking for you. So instead of complaining or, just go, creating this negative moment out of it, I was just like, hey, I'll cook. My friend was like, okay. And I went to the bathroom and I felt myself still being annoyed. Like I was still a little like, what's going on with you? Like, you just gonna eat your food and eat your food in front of everybody. Everybody's stomach's gonna be growling. You gonna be in here eating some tasty breakfast. So it was still really bothering me. Like the energy was still lingering, right? Like even though I had technically resolved the problem myself, it was like that energy was still lingering. So I was like, Tisha, did you resolve the problem? And I said, yes, like the problem is resolved. I already fixed it. I said, I found the solution to the problem that I had. So why are you still holding on to this energy? Why are you still in this negative or upset energy when you have already created a solution for your problem? So I came out and I just hugged my friend and I just started having a conversation with them. And it completely shifted the energy. It completely changed the energy. And I was back to normal. I was back in my normal mood. I wasn't angry anymore. And so I use that example to say that a lot of times we give things way too much energy than what they need. So when we are experiencing a difficult time or a difficult season in our lives, then we just discount the whole experience and say, this is hard altogether, right? That one specific thing is hard, but try something else. Create a different solution. Try to get a different outcome. So that was something else that I wanted to say is like sometimes we give these things way too much energy. But yeah, that was really pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. I think that subscribing to the notion that things are difficult only creates more difficult things in your life. And at the end of the day, I think it boils down to our perception, but also creating understanding within ourselves of why we are perceiving these things as hard. I'm always going to talk about getting down to the root issue, because what is the root issue about this thing that's making it hard? Is it because this thing is validating your feelings of not being enough? This thing is validating your fear, right? So that is the messages that I have for you. Hopefully you're able to take something away from this video and apply it to your real life. Okay, I will see you on the next video.